which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we do roll call, I just want y'all sitting out there in the audience to know how awesome it is to have such a full council chambers. And even though I recognize that most of you will be leaving us shortly, it is a very different experience to be up here and do the Pledge of Allegiance and hear all of your voices. So thank you for being here. And with that, Matt, if you'd please do the roll call.
Councilor Thompson.
Here.
Demas.
Here.
Pedri.
Here.
Hickerson.
Here.
Zadi.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Batolo. Robinson.
Here.
Mayor Mickelson.
Here. And that takes us to our consent agenda. Up first, we have the approval of the minutes from the City Council meeting of May 7th, 2024, and the special meeting minutes from May 8th, 2024. We have the Health Insurance Fund recap from April of 2024, the financial report summary from April of 2024, and the Rock Springs Renewal Fund financial statements from March of 2024. We have the Specific Purpose Tax Joint Powers Board meeting minutes of April 8th, 2024, the Rock Springs Historical Museum Board meeting minutes of April 10th, 2024, and the Joint Powers Telecom Board meeting minutes of April 25th, 2024. And then we have the Parks and Recreation 2024 Summer Activity Guide, a notice from the DEQ regarding a permit application from Church and Dwight for their industrial landfill number 2, and a notice from the Wyoming Business Council regarding termination of the Bunning Park neighborhood grant due to meeting reporting requirements and monies being spent. Council, do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Pedri. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries unanimously. So this evening, it's pretty fantastic. We have a lot of commendations, and I think what we will do for Sandy and Tamara, we will start with them and take a picture. And then when we get to the young folks, we'll go through all the presentations of the commendations, and then the council and I will stand down there and we'll get photos with each of you, and then you guys can all go back to your regularly scheduled lives. So with that,
Or you could stay.
yeah, I mean, that would be awesome, but that's got like Powerball chances. So I would turn my time over to Chief Harris Palmer.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity. I did want to just take a second to recognize Sandy Cleveland and honor her career here with the city and with the police department. Sandy retired last Friday after 25 years of service to the police department. A quick synopsis here. She started in 1999 as the administrative assistant to detectives. During that time, she learned crime scene photography and worked in our death investigations. She later moved into evidence, a position that she held for the last 18 years. During her time there, she rebuilt a property management system, obtaining national accreditation in 2016. Because of her hard work and commitment, we are one of only 11 accredited property rooms in the country, and that's all due to Sandy. So, yeah. So we just have a plaque to, yeah, come on. Feels like we've done this before, but congratulations on 25 years and your well-earned retirement. Congratulations. Yeah, one more. All right.
Well, thank you very much. I did not expect any of that. And Chief Harris Palmer knows that I'm not one that speaks a lot, at least not in public. But I would like to say that I feel very fortunate to have worked with such an amazing family over the last 25 years. And I'm so grateful for all the opportunities I was given. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We'll grab a picture now, but we.
Which side we going?
We going this way?
And then up next, we have Tamara Washington, and I would turn my time over to Mr. J.J. Severud.
Okay. All right. Well, quick introduction to our wonderful little person here. So Tamara has been, I don't know when you started. It was 2020, something like that. Okay. Or 2000, sorry, 2000. Brought on by Lori Barton, our last manager. I just let her do her thing for the last 10 years. We identified that she should be recognized by this honor through Silver Sneakers because the good job she's done. And her class got behind her, supported her, and she finished in the top 5. She was the 4th of the 5 finalists. So we're super proud of her, and she should come up. Yes, sir. Okay.
I didn't know I was going to have to speak. So I just want to say thank you. This is truly amazing to be a top 5 national finalist in Little Wyoming against Chicago and different places. These guys are the ones that did all this. They are truly amazing. They take everything that I throw at them and just roll with it. We've had some that have come in on walkers and canes that after a few months don't even need them anymore. Truly, it's an amazing program. But as far as this honor goes, it is completely all of my people here that did, and this is only a quarter of them. But anyways, thank you so much. This has truly been an honor. And JJ, thank you for letting me do whatever I want to do. Because I would anyways. Thank you. I'll get on your knees, please.
Okay. So for this next segment, we will invite each person up, and if they'd like to share a little bit about their accomplishments, that would be absolutely wonderful. And then when we're through everyone, you don't have to, it's not a mandatory, then we'll get pictures. So first up, we have Ethan Green from the CNC Programming Skills USA. He's our state winner. Mm-hmm. Nope. Nope. It looks like he is in absentia. So we will move on to McKaylee Robles, Architectural Drafting Skills USA State winner. If you'd like to share.
So I was able to go to Skills USA in April. Yes, April. And I was up against 6 other high school students. And this is my first year competing in architectural drafting at Skills USA, and I placed first out of the 6 that I competed against.
That is out. So what is architectural drafting?
It's basically building buildings. Like you lay out the blueprints for buildings. So I was given in my competition, I was given a floor plan and I was given accommodations to change. So does that make sense?
Okay. And like they give you a month to do it, or
No, I got 5 hours to do it.
Wow.
So I was there sitting on a computer. We got it was 2 hours, and then we got a lunch break, and then it was 3 hours. So I did. I had to make a cover sheet, which is like a big picture of the building with like the names and everything on it, explaining what the house is. And I had to do a first floor plan. I had to do a roof floor plan, a wall section which kind of shows like what the inside of the walls look like, shows the insulation, shows the all of like the inside building parts. And then I had to do schedules, which shows like all the doors, all the windows, and all of like the little things of the house.
Well, that is outstanding. Congratulations. And
Thank you.
Okay. And then we'll get you back for a picture.
Okay.
Thank you. And then next up we have Claire Edmond, who is a University of Wyoming Trustee Scholarship recipient. And if I'm correct, was there some other honor that I heard about recently?
Yeah. So I also got valedictorian for the high school.
Congratulations. Do we get a preview of your speech, or do we have to wait till Thursday?
Wait.
Oh.
But yeah, the trustees scholarship is only goes to 100 high school seniors every year. So I had to go through like an interview phase and multiple interview phases to get it. So.
And for those not in the know, what is a trustee scholarship?
It is a pretty big scholarship. It pays for pretty much everything while I'm at UW for the next 3-ish years. So it's pretty cool.
That is outstanding.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we have J.P. Sorensen, who is also a University of Wyoming Trustee Scholarship recipient.
Yeah, so I also got this scholarship. I was one of 3 students from our high school to get it, so it's pretty exciting. Yeah, you had to go through 2 stages of interviews, and there was a lot of it was like breaking it down from everyone who applied to UW down to only 100. So yeah, it's a pretty cool scholarship. I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Well, that is very exciting and it's outstanding work, and we're super tickled. Thank you for coming to share with us.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Jendaya Coletti. You are a Daniels Fund scholarship recipient.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for recognizing me. It means a lot. For those of you that aren't familiar, the Daniels Fund Scholarship is a scholarship through a couple different states in the U.S., and I was the only one in Sweetwater County to receive it and one of 209 students that applied. So it was a lot of work, but I'm really thankful for it. It covers my full cost of attendance all 4 years. So that's...
And
thank you guys again.
It's been a minute since we've had a Daniels Fund recipient in Sweetwater County.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's a really huge honor. And so congratulations.
Well, thank you. I
Thank you for
appreciate
coming
it.
to share with us.
Thank you.
And then last but not least, we have Sydney Harris, who is a state all-star basketball recipient.
Thank you guys for recognizing me tonight. This means a lot. This is truly an honor. So I've been playing basketball for about 9 years, and I worked really hard to get to this point for sure. I didn't really even know it was a thing until they told me. But I get to go and play a basketball game this summer with some top players in the state, and we all kind of get into 2 different teams, and we get to play a game against each other, which is pretty cool. So
That is awesome. No,
Yeah.
that is wonderful. It's amazing to see the amount and variety of talent that we have right here in Rock Springs. And so we very much appreciate all of you coming to share your accomplishments with us. And I'd like to remind everyone, when you are done going off to get whatever skills training or college education that you're after, that we would like you home. Right? So come back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Switching it up.
Thank you so much.
Nice seeing you. Have a good one. Congratulations. Thank you so much. We've got a lot. We should have asked them what they were going to study. Recognize it? Yeah.
I'm seeing the one that did the house. Joy and
some drafting? Yeah.
I'm assuming the other one is going to try to recruit it as a basketball player and go big pro.
Yeah.
Who's that girl that played last night?
Caitlin Clark? Yeah.
She's going to be our Rock Springs Caitlin Clark. We're going to drain this.
I like it.
Okay, so next we have presentations and proclamations. And up first, we have National Travel and Tourism Week. Yes, ma'am. If you show up, that's going to happen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much for recognizing National Travel and Tourism Week. In Sweetwater County in 2023, we welcomed 580,000 visitors to Sweetwater County. That equated to $152 million in spending in Sweetwater County. And for every household in Sweetwater County, it saves everybody $683 a year, that visitor spending that is brought to our county from those who come to visit. So it's big business in Sweetwater County, tourism is, and we're really happy to be a part of it. And I could answer any questions, but thank you again for recognizing National Travel and Tourism Week.
Council?
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I'm just curious how popular the sandboarding or the dune.
It's gaining momentum. It is. The safety concern is the tricky part. It's so far out of town. If we had a little bit better medical services out there, road maintenance, signage, things like that, we could promote it a lot more, and we intend to in the future. So we're hoping to work with the BLM to be able to promote it more in the future. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, that road out there is pretty, well, it was pitted years back. We had a search and rescue years back, and they had a pilot come in from Farson. He had to tip his wheels to get down to get our sergeant up in the plane with him. So
yeah, road maintenance, cell service, emergency services are really the restrictions that we see. It's an opportunity that we have. We'd like to promote it more, and hopefully in the future we can.
Lovely. Okay. The travel industry is essential to the success of every industry and will continue to be a critical part of Wyoming's economy, development, and workforce. Travel is an economic powerhouse for every state and destination across the country, with an economic output of $2.8 trillion, supporting 15 million American jobs. Travel spending supports vibrant and safe communities in Sweetwater County, Wyoming, and across the United States by generating local tax revenue to support essential services such as education, emergency response, public safety, and more. The travel industry ranks as the second largest industry in Wyoming in 2023, with $4.8 billion in travel expenditures and supported over 33,000 jobs. Locally, travel and tourism generated over 580,000 hotel stays, $152.4 million in total direct spending, and supported over 1,450 jobs. America's travel industry cannot be globally competitive without maximizing growth in leisure, business, and international inbound travelers. Increasing travel to and within the United States drives our economy to a more prosperous future and connects America. Travel is an essential industry that we must continue to communicate that growing travel leads to economic growth, benefits businesses, fosters mutual understanding, and connects the nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby declare the week of May 19th through the 25th of 2024 to be National Travel and Tourism Week in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and urge the citizens of Rock Springs to join me in recognizing the essential role this industry plays in our state and county. So
thank you. Can I quickly recognize Mark Lyon as our board chair? He does a great job. Devin Brubaker is our treasurer. They both do a really great job for us, and I appreciate all they do.
I will.
Thank you.
I will tell you that Mark is also very helpful if you're on the hunt for juniper berries.
Multi-talented.
Yes, he saved me, and then he saved my family. So now we get to have sourdough pancakes, thanks to his knowledge of the area. So
Perfect.
yeah, it was good stuff.
Who knew?
Okay, thank you. We'll grab a photo at the end. Thank you. Next up, we have Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm looking around and I don't see anybody else. So if you don't have to. I'm just saying if you'd like to. If not, I'll read the proclamation and we'll. I mean, I think it was pretty apropos.
I mean, I don't really have much to say in terms of the Mental Health Month. I appreciate that there is an entire month dedicated to mental health, and as we all know, like I said last time, everyone knows someone who has struggled. I don't have anything typed up or written, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. Right now, we are, like I said, I'm hosting a 5K for the organization To Write Love on Her Arms. It is this Saturday. There's a few people who I already know cannot make it and have already donated. Thank you to Max and Matt. We've raised $238 out of the $1,000 that we would like to raise. We're still raising more. Those funds go back into smaller communities. They help people who are struggling with their mental health. They help get you therapy, rehabilitation, all sorts of resources. I appreciate that. As we know, Sweetwater County and Wyoming have a big problem with mental health and suicide and depression, and it's really, really nice to see that this council, mayor, that so many people that I work with and that I've known for almost my entire life are so passionate about providing a safe space in Sweetwater County for people who are struggling. So on behalf of anyone who has lost someone, anyone who has struggled, thank you.
Absolutely. Mental health is important for our individual well-being and vitality, as well as that of our families, communities, and businesses. 1 in 5 Americans experience a mental health illness that requires treatment at some point in their lives. 1 in 10 children has a serious emotional disturbance, and if untreated, can lead to school failure, physical illness, substance use, jail, or even suicide. Stigma and stereotypes associated with mental illnesses often keep people from seeking treatments for themselves or their children, which could improve their quality of life. Mental illness is a biologically based brain disorder that cannot be overcome through willpower and is not related to a deficit or defect in the person's character or intelligence. Mental health recovery is a journey of healing and transformation, enabling people with a mental illness to live in a community of his or her choice while striving to achieve their full potential. Mental health recovery not only benefits individuals with mental health disorders by focusing on their abilities to live, work, learn, and participate in or contribute to our society, but also enriches the culture of our community life. The City of Rock Springs is committed to inspiring hope, empowering people, and strengthening communities through raising awareness and eliminating the stigma that mental health carries. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby declare the month of May 2024 to be Mental Health Awareness Month in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and call upon our citizens, other government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to recommit to increasing awareness and understanding of mental illness and recognizing the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental illnesses to promote recovery, and to go to the college at 11 o'clock at the Pendulum on Saturday. Very good. Thank you. And then our final proclamation is for Arbor Day.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. On the 30th of this month, we're going to be celebrating Arbor Day at Garnett Park, 10 o'clock a.m. We've got some white lilac trees that we're going to be planting up there by the playground up there, and we're going to be doing our part to sequester some carbon. So come on out and join us for that. An update of what we're also going to be, that's coming up. We got a urban and community forestry grant that we were lucky to receive here through the City of Rock Springs. It's a $100,000 grant that'll go over the next 5 years. So we have $20,000 that we're going to be spending each year, starting this year, for tree purchases and some maintenance and planting as well. So I also brought Jeff Ludich with me tonight. He's one of our maintenance workers that we were fortunate to put on this last year, and he's our guy that's taking the lead on our tree work. And so you'll see Jeff out there pruning trees, planting trees, and with his group. So we're very glad to have him, and we're very happy that you guys were able to fund us with those two positions. So thank you again.
Outstanding. Okay. In 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. This holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. The holiday of Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and world. Trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate temperature, clean the air, and produce life-giving oxygen while providing a habitat for wildlife. Trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. Trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality for business areas, and beautify our community. Trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Max Mickelson, Mayor of the City of Rock Springs, do hereby proclaim Thursday, May 30th, 2024, to be Arbor Day in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. I urge all citizens to plant trees to warm the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. To commemorate Arbor Day, a tree planting will take place at Garnet Park on Thursday, May 30th, 2024 at 10 a.m. Thank you. And if I could pass on some advice from my mom, and this is a direct quote, what we need is more damn evergreens. So,
well, we just purchased 80.
I'll let her know. She'll be thrilled.
They'll be going in this spring.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Now we'll grab pictures.
I'll probably have to give her my debit card.
The number at least. She'll call it in.
As long as she doesn't deliver it.
Okay, so that brings us to the first of our two public hearings. We have a public hearing regarding proposed changes to the utility allowance schedule for public housing. Would anyone like to address the council and I regarding that topic? Okay, then we will close that and move to a public hearing regarding proposed sale of municipal property to the Sweetwater County Transit Authority. Would anyone like to address the council and I? Okay, we'll close that public hearing and we will open public comment and petitions.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors, Devin Brubaker, Airport Director, Southwest Wyoming Regional Airport. A couple quick things, promise it won't take long. First of all, I want to take an opportunity to thank your building department. Jeff Tuttle and his team have been absolutely fantastic to work with on the terminal project and everything we got going on at the airport over the last several months. They've made our job and our contractor's job and our design team's job much, much easier. So I just want to make sure you all hear that. I wish Paul was here to hear it as well. So hopefully maybe Mayor, you can pass that on to Paul. But Jeff and his team just have been fantastic to work with, so appreciate that. And the second thing, just want to offer up if there's any questions about the 4 resolutions that are on your agenda this evening about the airport. Happy to answer any questions you all might have. Otherwise, I'm here as well later if you have questions. So other than that, thank you, Mayor.
Council?
Councilors.
For my part, I would just like to share our gratitude for the work that you and your board have done to navigate what has been a very challenging and difficult situation in a way that ensures that we will continue to have air service that is so critical to our community and industry. And also, I appreciate the efforts that our board liaisons and yourself go to make sure that I'm aware of everything that's going on over there. Because, I mean, it's big commitments, but for a big benefit. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay.
Max, City Councilman, I would not be up here right now.
Can you state your name for the record, Shirley?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As Shirley Ann, I plead the 5th. Okay? And I'm going to need it for election, believe me. But anyway, I'm only up here is because Randy Hansen and Brent Bartillo told me I was in the 3rd Ward. And then I found out they are not my counselors. My counselors is you, Randy, and Brent. And so I've been over here bugging them like crazy and asking them questions and going on and that. And they're not even my counselors, but they were very good. And they did answer them. They were very polite, and they did answer them. And I appreciate that very much. And I could just cry because I don't have you guys, but I do have you, Randy. And I have Brent. I'm so excited on that part that, hey, I've got you guys. There's a couple of questions I would like to really fast, and this goes to you, Max. I do come and see you, don't I? And I've come to see you, quite a few times, and I wasn't able before. Have I ever asked you for any favors? Ever asked you for any favors?
No, I did ask you for a favor to do my genealogy.
No, I was gonna say that after.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's good. No. But when I go in there, I have some concerns. Is that not right? I do not yell and scream at you, tell you have to do it, do I?
Nope.
I ask you, would you please do it? Can you do it? And then we talk about a couple of issues that I feel is very important. And then after that, we do genealogy.
That's true.
And he's fabulous. His ancestors are fabulous. There are no words to tell you. Politicians, a lot of soldiers, lot of ranching and farming, and I mean, everybody should have that opportunity to do their genealogy. You'd be surprised what you can't find out.
I mean, I found out what I suspected all along, that I'm a poor shadow of better people who've gone before me, but that's okay.
You have a lot to do to stand up to them, believe me. And it's funny because doing the genealogy, it's like you get to see, if you do somebody else's, I'm doing 4 people's. And you go in there and you see it, and then it comes, and then it comes, and then it comes, and it's fascinating. And especially to know your ancestors, because one day you're going to go. One day we're going to go back, to Heavenly Father, and we're going to know those ancestors. Okay, and this is for you, Zadi. It's easy. It's easy. When I went to the former Mayor Comos City Council, Did I yell and scream at him and call him names and tell him off? And
Not that I can recall.
no, I didn't. But it was exciting, though. You know, I gotta say, it was exciting. There are no words to tell you what excitement was for me in that. And I got to, I didn't get my First Amendment. Every time I tried to give my First Amendment, that's a difference between his group, his council, and you guys. I didn't get that First Amendment, and here we get that First Amendment, and I think that is so wonderful. You just don't even know. I have comments about when I get up here, some of my friends and stuff said, that is so awesome. You could get up there and tell them stuff and that, and they listen. And you have that opportunity. You have that First Amendment, which we never had. Well, depends on the people, and never had that chance. And so that's what's so great about this council, is that we do have the First Amendment. And sometimes I really get after you because I just can't see it going again like it was. And I guess we all have that fear, us little senior citizens, the ones that the first thing happens to us, we lose our memory. Then we get it back, you know what I mean? And we don't want that to happen again. We don't want our voices not to be heard. We've paid a lot of taxes, a lot of hard-earned taxes, and a lot of people never got that choice to be able to do that. And so I am grateful, and I will tell you that. Now, my little sweet friend, Tim, Detective Tim, you're fascinating. There's no doubts about it. But do you think you and I can get together and I can listen to that tape recorder?
Which one's that?
The one with you and I?
The one that you and I
Mhm.
take together?
Yeah.
You were there. You all of a sudden.
That's a detective. That is a detective, and that really. Is there something you're trying to hide?
You were there.
I was there, and you tape recorded it, and then you told me stuff I know I didn't say. So you said you taped it, so can we both listen to it?
I know, surely. I think I've had enough private meetings with you to last me a while.
I can imagine. And you were right when you had said to me, when I was talking about corruption, and when you said to me, there's all kinds of corruption. And you were right. There is, Tim. How we play our games, isn't it? But thank you. Thank you tonight. And don't worry, I'm not going to come up and start yelling and screaming at you. Maybe Tim, I would. But for you guys, nah, I won't. But thank you. I appreciate the time. And it's not over until it's over.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address us this evening? Okay, seeing no one, we'll close petitions and public comment and move forward to bills and claims, starting with the bills and claims for May 21st, 2024. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the bills and claims for May 21st, 2024.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining.
Abstaining.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors Thompson and Pedri abstaining. Next up, we have the salaries for May 7th, 2024. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve the salaries for May 7th, 2024.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Okay, the motion carries with Councilors Pedri and Thompson abstaining, bringing us to the first of 7,000 new business items this evening. A request from the Rock Springs Historical Museum for approval of a bid from Barch Industries for exterior painting of the museum in the amount of $84,150. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hanson?
I'd like to move to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a request from the Parks and Recreation Department for permission to apply for a Wyoming Land and Water Conservation Fund grant to partially fund the Wataha Recreational Pond Rehabilitation Project. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Counselor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a request from the Parks and Recreation Department for permission to fill a vacant building maintenance supervisor position at the Recreation Center. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counselor Robinson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. The next up, we have a request from the Parks and Recreation Department for permission to fill a vacant ice arena supervisor position. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counselor Thompson. Do we have a second? Thank you, Counselor Pedri. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries unanimously. Now we have a request from the Fire Department for permission to fill a vacant firefighter position. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor. Oh.
Counselor Zadi?
With a heavy heart on this request, I do move to approve.
Thank you.
Loss
That is
of
very
Kevin.
understandable. Yeah. That was actually something they thought it would be good in June if we all checked in with his wife. Yeah. But with that, do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Request from the Fire Department for permission to apply for 3 state Homeland Security preparedness grants through the Wyoming Office of Homeland Security. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Counselor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Thompson, I think. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have a request from the Police Department for permission to apply for a COPS hiring program grant to assist in covering salaries and benefits for police officer positions for 3 years. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Counselor Zadi.
This one that we did, was it 3 years ago that we did is this the same grant we did before? And has that been 3 years already?
Your Honor, Counselor, it is the same grant we've done before, and we're actually still receiving these funds. But we talked with the grant, and we can still apply to redo it, basically.
I was just thinking that 3 years went by quick. If I couldn't remember when we did it, but I thought it was recently or fairly recent. 2 years? Okay. So I'll move to approve. I think it's a great program to take advantage of.
Counselor Zadi makes the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Next up, we have a request from the Red Desert Roundup Rodeo Parade Committee for approval of a parade route. And before I ask for a motion, I would note that it was 10 o'clock last night when I was sending out the calendar invite for the Red Desert Roundup Rodeo Parade.
There's no dessert?
No, I don't think so. No, not unless you bring your own. But with that, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Your Honor. Thank you, Counselor Hickerson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Counselor Demas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Bringing us to our final item of new business for this evening, a request from the Poorhouse for permission to extend their serving area for the 12th annual Heiner Poker Run on June 15th, 2024. Do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Counselor Demas?
I make a motion to approve this request.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Counselor Thompson?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Taking us to the resolution section of this evening. First up is 2024-62.
A resolution authorizing
Max Mickelson, Mayor, acting in his capacity as Chairman of the Rock Springs Housing Board, to approve an annual review of the public housing utility allowance schedule.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor, I'd move to approve Resolution 2024-62.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
I'll be abstaining. The resolution is affiliated with housing.
Okay.
I'll also be abstaining as my spouse runs that department.
Thank you. So the motion carries with Councilors Pedri and Thompson abstaining, taking us to Resolution 2024-63.
A resolution authorizing Max Mickelson, acting in his capacity as chairman of the board for the Rock Springs Housing Authority, to accept a capital fund program amendment for the federal fiscal year 2024 for the purpose of receiving $374,292 and authorizing the supervisor of housing and community resources to execute the capital fund program amendment.
Thank you. Bless you. Council, do we have a motion? Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-63.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
Abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries with Councilors Thompson and Pedri abstaining. Next up, we have Resolution 2024-64.
A resolution to temporarily suspend operation of the Rock Springs Parks and Recreation Board.
Thank you. Council, before I call for a motion, a little background on this. As everyone's aware, we have contracted with Barry Dunn to do a very in-depth study of our Parks and Recreation Department, and then to produce some recommendations for strategic business planning. And in the evolution of that project, it's become clear that the role of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board may shift going forward, in addition to the reality that we don't know the direction that Parks and Rec is taking. So it's difficult for them to provide advice when we don't know what direction we're headed. And so in the interest of respecting their time and the department's time, it seemed to make sense to suspend the board from meeting until the Barry Dunn report is produced, at which time they would be tasked with some facilitated board development in cooperation with the department to determine what their role will be going forward, as well as to provide us with, at the very least, some well-reasoned recommendations from that report. I will also be asking the department to provide us with their recommendations for which we should take up from the report, and then we'll convene a stakeholder group of community folks to provide their recommendations to us, and then we can sort of glean from all of that opinion what we think would be best for the department and the city going forward. And so that was the reason that I asked Mr. Beckwith to produce a resolution to suspend them from meeting until that report is produced. There's just no reason to take their time. So with that, I would ask for a motion.
Your Honor.
Councilor Hickerson.
Move to approve Resolution 2024-64.
Thank you. And I'd look for a second.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hanson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, bringing us to Resolution 2024-65.
A resolution accepting and approving an amendment to the grant agreement offer between the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, and the City of Rock Springs, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said grant agreement on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-40 or 65. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, taking us to resolution 2024-66.
A resolution accepting and approving a memorandum of understanding agreement between Operation Underground Railroad, Inc. and the Rock Springs Police Department, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Bill Ersbaumer as chief of police of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said memorandum of understanding on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Councilor
Move
Thompson?
to Approve resolution 2024-66.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Petrie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, taking us to resolution 2024-67.
A resolution accepting and approving a memorandum of understanding between the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, Sweetwater County, Wyoming, and the Rock Springs Sweetwater County Airport Board, a Wyoming Joint Powers Airport Board, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said memorandum of understanding on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demus?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-67.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hickerson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Your Honor, I'm going to abstain on this one. Airport is a client of mine.
Thank you. The motion carries with Councilor Zadi abstaining, which takes us to resolution 2024-68.
A resolution granting and accepting the grant of public utility easement from the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Yes, Councilor Hickerson.
I move to approve resolution 2024-68.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Is there any discussion? I would just say that I giggled up here because people often perceive the city as sort of being this leviathan that just sort of goes around doing whatever it wants. And it turns out we're as constrained by our own rules as everybody else is. So in order to do this public utility easement from ourselves, we have to go through the process to give it to ourselves, which I just think is kind of funny. So with that, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstaining? The motion carries unanimously, bringing us to 2024-69.
A resolution accepting and approving a labor agreement between the International Union of United Mine Workers of America and the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and directing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said agreement on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Whoa. Councilor Hanson?
I move to approve resolution 2024-69.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Your Honor.
Councilor Zadi?
I'd make a second, and I'd also like to thank the UMWA for their efforts in this year's negotiations. And I think it went really well. You guys have always been a really good group to work with, I feel. So thank you.
Yeah, it was way cooler this year than last year, mostly because I had some idea of what I was doing. So I appreciate the education I got along the way. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Taking us to resolution 2024-70.
A resolution accepting and approving the organizational use agreement with the state of Wyoming, the Wyoming Secretary of State's office, and the University of Wyoming, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the city of Rock Springs to execute said use agreement on behalf of the city of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demus?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-70.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, taking us to resolution 2024-71.
A resolution accepting and approving the sale of a 2010 Chevrolet Malibu to Sweetwater County Transit Authority and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to execute said contract on behalf of the city of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
So moved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, taking us to resolution 2024-72.
A resolution authorizing and directing Max Mickelson as mayor of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the city of Rock Springs, Wyoming, to accept and approve a budget revision to the budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-72.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Petrie. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Henson?
I'd just like to point out that Matt does an excellent job of presenting his budget revisions to us and does a great job taking care of the funds for the city, and I just want to make sure that he knows it. Thanks.
Thank you.
It's very true. Okay. With that, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously. Next up, we have resolution 2024-73.
A resolution accepting and approving the 2024 to 2026 collective labor agreement between the City of Rock Springs and the International Association of Firefighters Local 1499, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor of the City of Rock Springs and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk of the City of Rock Springs to execute said collective labor agreement on behalf of said city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Zadi?
I'd like to make a motion to approve 2024-73, and I'd also like to thank the IAFF Local 1499 for negotiations this year and the way things were handled and the process that you put in place. I think helped facilitate things a lot more smoothly in negotiations, and I think we had a lot more cooperation among the two groups. So.
Agreed. It was what do you call it? I was super happy. I think is the if you want to use really formal technical language.
Super happy is good.
Yeah. No, they went very, very well, as it should. So I too was very tickled. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Petrie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously, taking us to 2024-74.
A resolution authorizing submission of application to the Wyoming Business Council under the Business Ready Community Grant and Loan Program for an enhancement grant on behalf of the Rock Springs Sweetwater County Airport Board for the Commercial Terminal Modernization Project.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-74.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hickerson?
I just want to say before we do these next three that this is a pretty bitter pill to swallow, but if we want the city to continue to grow the way we have been, we have to do this.
Yeah, it is always unfortunate when reality and circumstances duty all over your parade, but we will sweep it up, and Devin will sweep it up, and we will be really grateful. So, very good. Anyone else? Nope. With that, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Motion carries with Councilor Zadi abstaining, taking us to resolution 2024-75.
A resolution authorizing submission of an application to the Wyoming Business Council under the Business Ready Community Grant and Loan Program for a community readiness loan on behalf of the governing body of the Rock Springs Sweetwater County Airport Board for the Commercial Terminal Modernization Project.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor.
Councilor Hickerson?
Move to approve resolution 2024-75.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Demas. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries with Councilor Zadi abstaining, taking us to the penultimate moment of our resolutions, 2024-76.
A resolution to accept federal fiscal year 2024 and 2025 Federal Aviation Administration Airport Improvement Program grants, airport infrastructure grants, and airport terminal program grants from the United States Department of Transportation for airport improvement projects at the Southwest Wyoming Regional Airport on behalf of the City of Rock Springs in an amount not to exceed $30 million, and authorizing Max Mickelson as the mayor of the City of Rock Springs to accept said grants on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Demas?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-76.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Once again, I will abstain.
Motion carries with Councilor Zadi abstaining, bringing us to 2024-77.
A resolution accepting and approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming and Desert View Animal Hospital, and authorizing Max Mickelson as mayor and Matthew L. McBurnett as city clerk to execute said memorandum of understanding on behalf of the City of Rock Springs.
Thank you. Council, do we have a motion?
Your Honor,
Councilor Hanson?
I move to approve that resolution.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining due to my wife working at Desert View Animal Hospital.
Thank you. Motion carries with Councilor Hickerson abstaining. And that concludes resolutions and brings us to ordinances, none of which are on the third reading, but if you have any comments or questions, give me a heads up. Matt, if you'd give us 2024-04.
An ordinance renaming a portion of Grant Street to Art Castillo Way.
Okay. 2024-05.
An ordinance creating Article 1113 of the ordinances of the City of Rock Springs entitled Level 3 Communications LLC and its affiliates, subsidiaries, successors, or assigns within Chapter 11 franchises and rights of way.
Thank you. And then our final 2024-06.
An ordinance of the City of Rock Springs, Wyoming, designating certain public road right-of-ways, streets, or roads in the City of Rock Springs as Wyoming off-road recreational vehicle trails and allowing designated right-of-ways and streets as off-road recreation trails by the State of Wyoming Department of State Parks and Cultural Resources.
Thank you. Okay. I did tell that nice guy from the State Trails Association after our last meeting that that group did a very hard sell to a body that has already bought into the idea. That he could have just sent an email. So with that, it brings us to council updates. Is there anything any of y'all would like to share?
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
I just want to have JJ, if you could, thank the grounds crew at Wataha. We had a baseball tournament this weekend, and the field looked great. Last year, I know we had some issues with some sections of that field, but it looked really good this year. And look forward to the new, looks like putting an asphalt patch down there as well by the dugouts. The only thing I ask is next time if you could put up a big wind barrier somewhere for us. But I do appreciate the work in that on the field. So
yeah, this weekend was an outlier, kind of, for Rock Springs, even for the wind, but I will be sure to pass that on. Thank you.
I will share something for Councilor Demas. I had 56 high school kids. They were here touring the police department, and for some reason the PD was like, we can't accommodate 60 extra people. So they were like, hey, why don't you show them some offices? That will get them excited. But it was overall fairly enjoyable. But at one point when we were out here in the lobby, these two little gals were talking, and they were looking at all the pictures of the mayors, and they're like, "How come there's no women?" And so I had a nice chat with them, and we concluded that maybe as a society we've made progress, but not enough. And then I pointed out that we only have one woman on the council. And the one little gal was like, "Well, I think when I get older, I'm going to run." And I was like, "Well, very good. Tell your friends, like, let's get a little bit more representation that reflects our community." So that was definitely, and then there was one poor little guy who was too scared to ask me about why we can't have chickens. And so I cornered him and I was like, "You have a question about chickens?" "No." And I was like, "Dude." And he was like, "Well, yeah." And so then we talked about it. But it was a pretty good time all in all. And I did bring them donuts because those are always a way to get the kids feeling more positive. And we had two young men who came and sat up here, much to the distress of their teacher. And one who banged the judge's gavel. After I gave him permission, I regretted it because I was very worried he was going to break it. And I felt like the judge would probably have me out to the county jail. So with that, thank you all, and we are adjourned.